best when you've given a person the gift of life and they're so happy you've done it, they then don't ever want to let you go. That's kind of where we are with group therapy.
When you need advice, come to Ben and Kelly. It's Group Therapy on 99.7 DJX.
So we got this message, and it's pretty amazing. It says, about 2 years ago, I signed up to be a bone marrow donor. 6 months later, I was matched to a man in his 30s with leukemia. So I traveled 600 miles to the hospital to donate, and my recovery was somewhat painful.
Oh.
Shortly afterward, I was contacted by my recipient. He survived due to the treatments and my bone marrow.
Oh, yay.
And I was happy for him. Felt really good about myself for helping to save his life.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is he constantly contacts me to talk and thanks me all the time for my gift.
Okay.
Now, this isn't just once a month or once a week, but every day.
Oh.
So now it's kind of gotten to the point where I cringe every time I see his number pop up on my cell phone.
Mm-hmm.
Is it rude for me to tell the man I helped save that I no longer kind of like want to speak to him? Am I obligated to be his friend?
Man, that is tough. And I think, just changing your number is kind of a harsh way to go. But, that was immediately what I thought. But I haven't ever been in that situation. I'm an organ donor and I've donated blood before, but I don't know. I don't have any 100% accuracy like, oh, the blood that I donated helped save this person,
Right. Nor do they know you were their lifesaver.
Yeah.
So, but Jessica said, this is tough. If it's affecting you daily, you need to set boundaries. I would be as gentle as possible, but firm to get your point across. Maybe something like, I understand you're eternally grateful and your gratitude is inspiring. Mm-hmm. I'm so happy you're well. And I could be, and I'm really happy that I can be involved in donating this precious gift. Your daily calls of thanks, though, are starting to weigh on me and affect my daily life. Could you please limit your expression to a written note, maybe once a year, on email? I am forever appreciative of your many thanks and pleased to have done this for you, and I wish you all the best.
Am I just being naive in thinking that this will just naturally kind of go away? What? Won't he just because I feel like, how long ago did he say this was? I guess a year and a half ago. I guess it's probably been going on about a year. All right. Well, maybe that is kind of long. I was thinking that this was something that happened relatively soon. And so
that would start to
just kind of fade out. Yeah. Like the everyday phone calls and texts would turn into, a couple times a week and then once a week and then maybe a few times a month. It's like, and just kind of, I guess, weather it until it just the natural progression of things. That's what I was.
You could just not answer,
not respond,
and then maybe respond back with a text like, "Thanks so much for your call. Super busy today," that kind of thing, and just maybe start to give the hint that way.
Is it bad?
But I think what Jessica suggested he say is, really gentle and sweet. Like, it's fine. This is not necessary. I'm super happy that this worked out, and I wish you all the best. And I think when you say I wish you all the best, that should be
like a closed door.
That we're closing the door on this and we're going to move on.
Is it bad that I go to, in my brain, every short text response that I've received from a female, like a thumbs up emoji or a okay?
This was the door? Closing him in the face. I didn't really necessarily see it at the time.
Yeah, it's like, text from me, just write back, K, period. I don't know. All right, you know what? I would love to hear some stories of people who have done this and been in contact with maybe their, because I like I said, Kelly and I haven't been in this situation, so we have nowhere to go on with the advice on this. But 502.
And listen, can I, real quick, in this, we'll give it a couple of minutes, but Zach shares a story online that's amazing. And then one of the EMTs that helped him chimes in.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. We'll hear that story coming up and get some advice for our listener with group therapy on DJX. How do you navigate this? Like, he gave a stranger bone marrow, his own bone marrow transplant. And while he's happy, he was able to help, saved his life, in fact. Strangers now, contacting him constantly to the point where he's like, is it rude of me to ask him to
call every day?
Call and text every day?
Yeah. Now, I mean, a lot of people pointed out that, he did travel 600 miles and went through a lot of effort for a complete stranger. Mm-hmm. And I'm sure that, the recipient is mindful of that and is probably motivating him to try to make sure that he knows how thankful he is. Libby says on Facebook, mm-hmm. I work with patients that wait every day in a transplant list just hoping they get that call. The joy, fear, excitement, and thanks they have is something many don't get to witness. Mm. Some of my patients experience guilt when they're transplanted because sometimes their donor is deceased. It isn't often that we have living donors.
Yeah.
The gift you gave is irreplaceable. Maybe he's just feeling like it's his duty to verbalize his thanks to you. Are you obligated to be his friend? No. But I think the relationship that can stem from this type of situation can be one that both of you can learn from.
Yeah, that's true. That's true. And man. Yeah, I feel for our listener who is, because, we all get contacted by, telephone solicitors and people, all the time that you just send a voicemail or you're just like, oh man. But it's almost like, getting a call from your parents where it's not, you don't always have, and you're not always in the greatest of spots to be able to like talk to your parents, or you already know, you're like, oh man, I gotta talk to my parents. All right.
Listen, I love talking to my mom every single time she calls. But I get, if you're getting a daily call from someone that you don't know and you feel like you're trying to kind of forge this awkward relationship and you're not necessarily, you don't need that. I understand where maybe his recipient's coming from, though. Like, I can only imagine what that's like. And this story will blow you away, too. Zach commented on Facebook, when someone goes through a traumatic, life-changing event, they get really close or try to stay in contact with the folks that helped save them. Mm-hmm. I'm stage 3 CHF, which is chronic heart failure.
Oh.
Had cardiac arrest on the assembly line at Ford, Kentucky truck plant.
Oof.
That was over 2.5 years ago. I'm still to this day thanking my team leader and nurses at Kentucky truck plant who saved my life, and the healthcare and the CHF transplant team. I buy them lunches, holiday treats. I died in my team leader's hands.
Oh my gosh.
And he has to see that every day of his life. But he's a strong man inside and out and did what was needed to try and save me. And once the nurses got to me, they did what was needed as well. I've been evaluated for a heart transplant at UK. And if that time comes and I need one, I'm going to try and be a part of my donor's family. And that's how most of us are. We're just truly thankful. And then Philip comments and says, I'm pretty sure I was one of your transport EMTs.
Oh, my gosh.
I remember your story to this day. Hard to forget someone having to go through that so young.
Dang.
Unbelievable.
Maybe if nothing else, what we're doing is we are impressing upon our listener that there is a bond that happens. And maybe our listener doesn't realize what he actually did.
Yeah, I think maybe that's it. Maybe the gravity of what he did, how big of a deal it is maybe a little lost on him, and should understand that, this person's going to wake up every day thanking him because they get another day. And maybe not a lot of people in their position get that opportunity. So I get it. So maybe this will give them a fresh perspective and maybe start to look forward to those calls and maybe engage a little bit more in it.
Yeah. All right. Well, maybe that wasn't the answer that you wanted to hear, but I think I think it's important, though. So
yeah, there are other suggestions of you don't have to answer every time, and maybe you can text back and maybe start to cut back a little bit on the frequency. But I don't know if I would completely cut this person out of your life. You may be the only thing that they have.
Yeah.
Who knows? What else is going on in that person's life?
If you want to comment, you can. We always have the group therapy scenario up on our Facebook page for you to, leave a comment and read some of the others at Ben and Kelly Show. And yeah, Keep us posted.